Hello, everyone. Welcome to part two of User Onboarding Agent series. My name is Umar Sardar, and I am Senior FastTrack Solution Architect. And with me, I have my colleagues Saurabh B and Rich Black to share this dynamic inspired series with you. In this part, I am going to discuss architecture and core design for User Onboarding Agent we have built. Let's review the architecture. Okay, so let's talk about the user onboarding agent architecture and design. So first of all, this agent has been built in Microsoft Copilot Studio. You can see the agent names and details under the overview section. Uh, we are using Cloud Sonnet 4.5 for processing the AI operations of this agent. If you see, there is a instruction set for this agent extensively talking about the guidance, the rules for onboarding a user, suggesting a finance and operation security roles, also running an analysis for the licenses as well. So if you can see, all these details has been mentioned over here, starting from the inputs, confirmation about that, and then it's sending a user request to the flow. And then once the user creation is successful, it will then process the security role recommendations and then share the recommendations with the user. So then the user will select the roles, and then the roles information is going to be saved through a Power Automate flow. After that, the license compliance is going to be used by running a licenses. It's going to consume a different APIs, graph API to get a list of the SKUs, and then running analysis for the availability of the licenses, and then presenting which one is compliant and which one can be used to assign for this user. So this analysis being shared over there, and once users select the SKU, and then the license SKU is going to be assigned for this user. And then at the end, it is going to share the summary for the onboarding journey. There are few safety instructions are available over there as well. Now, if we talk about further, like for example, starting from a knowledge source, we have uploaded security roles and duties as CSV over here. This is an extract for an entity from finance and operations by using a data management framework, and it contains roles and duty information in one file, and that file is being used to review the security roles based on the natural language which the user has provided. So it will give an analysis and recommendation for which rules are suitable. So the user who is doing an onboarding does not need to go into finance and operations or have an extensive knowledge of how the roles look like. Again, this is going to be for initial version where you need to upload a knowledge source file over here. In the later releases, it will be a part of automation where the extract is going to be happen from finance operations, maybe nightly or weekly, and then it is going to be stored over here. We are planning to use a Dataverse tables as a knowledge source, and we're going to put this information over there. So if you have a custom roles part of your finance and operations security framework, those roles are also going to be included in the CSV from an extract, and then the agent are going to also suggest custom security roles if it fulfills or if picks the security roles based on the natural language. Then the another part is uh, the tools which we are using. There are two types of tools we are using. One is the Power Automate flows, and another is the MCP. So all like the user creation, the license creation, the role assignments, and getting us queues from by using Graph API, all of them are the Power Automate flows. And then we are also using Dynamics MCP, where we are using it to run a licenses analysis by going into the security governance framework and giving us analysis of the licenses from there. So This is the MCP. This is the MCP operation we are using for the onboarding one. Uh, Other than that, there are default topics, and then we have the standard tabs over here, which explains the configurations, the channels, the deployments, configuration over there. And we have used Microsoft Teams from the demonstration, and you can pick one of the channel as per your need. And you can also see the analytical information of your agent as well, how much it has been consumed and successful, and all the other execution as well. If I go to the individual flows, just to give you an idea, I can go over here and open the flow. Okay, so if I go to the designer, and this is a assigned roles by FNO, let's first go to the user creation one. So let's go back and let's try to start it from the user creation flow. Um, I come here, the tools. First one is the creation, user creation. And if I go to the details of this flow, uh, there is a there's a different steps we are using to create a user's agent is calling a flow, of course, parsing a JSON, creating a token through the application ID, which is registered over there, parsing a JSON. And this one is where we are creating a user in Azure Active Directory by using Graph API. And all of this information is moving over there. And then we are creating a token from finance and operation. And then we are creating a user in the FNO. And then eventually responding back to agent with the status of the flow. Now, if I go back to the second Power Automate flow. Let's go to the roles assignment, and let me go over here. Let me open the details of this flow. If I go to the designer quickly, so again, parsing the JSON, generating a token for finance and operation, and then there is a loop because their user can assign one or more than one roles to a user. So this is getting an information over there, and then creating a user role in FNO by using a data entity, this data entity, then passing this information of that specific user, and then eventually responding back to agent. Now, if I go back quickly, and go to the, first of all, getting a subscribe SKU in your tenant to get your information how many SKUs you have available in your tenant. Based on that, then the MCP will be used to run analysis. But before that, we need to get a list of the SKUs. This is the API which we are using to get a subscribe SKU from your tenant, and it is responding that information back to the agent through these variable. Uh, After that, as I mentioned, the MCP is going to be used to run the analysis of this SKU plus the entitlement in it, and also what is required for the user. And then eventually it will give you the analysis based on that. So if I go quickly on to the last flow, which is going to be when the user select a license queue, and it is and then the step is to save that license for that user. And if I go to the designer, it can show you just like the previous flows, as it is getting an information from an agent, parsing it, generating a token, and then getting a user information from a graph API, and then applying if there are multiple users and sorry, if there are multiple SKUs which you wanted to assign to a user, it is processing one by one in the form of loop, and then it is going to assign a license over there by calling the Graph API. If I quickly go back to the tools and see the MCP, there is nothing specific we have configured differently for MCP other than the standard configurations. And these are the tools which are available over there. This concludes the architectural overview for the user onboarding agent and how it is using different tools and instead of instructions to facilitate the user onboarding in Azure Active Directory, finance and operation, and also giving you analysis and at the end, letting you to assign a license for that user. Okay, so if you are interested to use this agent, please use this link to fill information, and we will get back to you and share agent solution with you. Thank you so much for your time.